Welcome to Senior Break. I'm Dawn Medici with Oxford Township Parks and Recreation.
And I'm Marie May from Addison Township Senior Center. And we have a special guest today.
Yes, welcome Sarah. We have Sarah from the Oxford Fire Department. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, ladies.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose this career?
Why I chose this career? Well, I've been with the department since 2007. So a little bit now. I wanted something that was fun, exciting. I remember when I was a kid having to call emergency services for my father, and I just remember like when help got there, like it was the greatest thing. You know,
Right.
They were my heroes at that point in time. So I wanted to be that to somebody else.
Okay.
You know, I kind of always had that in the back of my mind. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but something in the medical field. So I got into this and loved it right off the bat. So it's
Great.
fun. I love helping the community, being a part of it. I live here in Oxford.
Right.
I got 2 young kids, 2 and 3 months. So I got my hands full
Oh,
at
yeah.
home. And
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much for your service to our community. I mean, that it is takes a really special person, I think, and passion to do what you do day in and day out. So thank you for doing
I
that.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about seniors today and how to keep our seniors safe in their homes. So why don't we start out, I know I see on the TV quite frequently now these advertisements for blankets to throw over fires versus using a fire extinguisher like on a stovetop or on a toaster. I've seen that the other day. Tell us if something like that is very valuable to have in our home, and or what can we do to limit fires in our kitchen?
So blankets they're a good option. I know that they must be pushed really hard on social media or something, because my mother went to me not that long ago. I need to get this blanket.
I know.
And I said,
That's what
I don't
was
know where you
thinking.
get one. But they're a good option. A lot of people have fire extinguishers in their homes that they don't ever do anything with.
Right.
They don't. Usually when we have them in businesses, they're annually checked. They make sure that they have pressure, that the powders are good in them. But when we have them in our homes, we don't usually do that. So
No.
they've probably sat there for 15, 20 years, and the day that
Yes.
you have a fire, you're really hoping that it works. The blanket could be a good option, but it could be one of those things that gets hidden away, tucked away, that we don't know where it is in the event of a fire. So in the event of a fire, we really like to push, just get out of your home. Don't stop to try and gather things. Don't try to fight the fire. Just get out of your home. Things are replaceable, you or not. So get out, stay
How
out.
long are the fire extinguishers good for after the date, normally?
It's hard to say. I know that they have to be like hydrostatically tested so many years. I believe it's like around 7 to 10, depending, I think, on your
That's good.
extinguisher. So they're good for a while. But again, we don't know how long they've been sitting on the shelves
Yeah.
at Home Depot.
Yeah.
They're a good thing to have in your home. Don't get me wrong, because
Yeah.
maybe you can fight that small fire.
Yeah.
But we don't ever want people going deeper into their homes, trying to find their extinguisher, trying to find their blanket.
Just get out.
Just get out, stay out, and that's really what's going to help save your life.
Sure.
So.
All right. So, what suggestions do you have, like to protect yourself too, besides just getting out? So, like if you're cooking, is there any should we be aware of what we're wearing?
Absolutely. So, especially like seniors, that's one of our number one causes for fire in our senior communities. Just because, and even any community, they put something on the stove and then they walk away and they kind of forget about it, or something else gets their attention. So not just for seniors, but for everybody. They
Right.
should always kind of set a timer. We all have our cell phones with
Yes.
us, even our seniors.
Good advice.
So
Set a timer.
put a little timer on your cell phone. So, because I don't know how many times we've gone on, somebody started boiling eggs, and then Miss Betty down the road gave her a phone call or met her outside, and
Right.
we've completely forgot about those eggs. So if you have your timer set, it just kind of helps you remind you that
Right.
you've got something going on the
What
stove.
if a fire starts inside your stove? What do you
Inside
do?
the
If you see a
oven?
little in the oven, yes.
So keep it shut. You don't want to open up your stove. The problem is people open their stoves, they see that there's the fire, and then they run out, and now that fire is coming out. So it's kind of an enclosed area. Eventually that fire should lose oxygen
Okay.
and put the fire out that way. So there's
Okay.
three things that a fire needs: is oxygen, heat, and, you know.
That's good to know,
Chemical
because the first thing you think is open that up and put it out, you know,
Yeah.
get your water system. So that's
So if
really
you
good to
remove
know.
one of those, if you remove one of those things, the oxygen, the fire will go out.
Right.
Okay, that's a good tip.
Very good. All right, and so a couple of key things is set a timer, and then when you're done cooking, let's make sure that you're shutting off your stovetop or your oven.
Absolutely. Make sure that you're, you know, especially with the electric stovetops nowadays, you don't know if they're on or not. So make sure that your knobs are off. They usually have a light on them that'll tell you whether your knobs are off or on.
All right.
What about
Yeah.
when you're cooking and you've got something in your oven and the smoke comes out of that one burner on top? I mean, you could just see smoke pouring. What does that mean? Nothing? I mean, it's something to
your
worry
oven.
about,
Your
or
oven's
just
designed to kind of let some of that.
Okay.
It's really just heat
okay?
that's coming out of there. It's designed to get some of that heat, moisture, and stuff out of there.
Okay.
Okay.
That's just it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
All right.
So maybe an exhaust fan if you notice just your house is getting a little smoky. But
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, and then, all right. So I'm in my bedroom, and it's really cold, and I'm trying to conserve on my heat because maybe I don't want a high electric bill for my heat or gas bill, and I decide I'm going to use a space heater. Is a space heater a good thing? Not a good thing?
So space heaters kind of have a bad rap for starting a lot of fires. They really have become a lot safer than they have in the past. They're not necessarily as big of a fire starter, but we don't suggest them because a lot of people don't use them properly.
Okay.
So they'll put stuff too close to them. So you always want to keep a 3-foot radius around it. And what actually causes the fires is the clothes and everything that's piled on top of the cords, where the cords connections are.
Right.
Because they're designed, if they tip over, to shut off. And the outsides of them aren't getting as hot as they once did in the past. But they aren't the safest option. If you could turn up your heat a little bit or try using an extra blanket, something like that, that's going to be your safer option than a space heater.
Okay.
That's good to know about the cord.
Yes. I didn't
Yeah.
think
So
Yeah,
about
don't
that.
pile
no, I
anything
would've
on
never
top
thought
of the
that.
cords.
Right. Keep that free. Keep
Yeah,
it all
keep it-
free.
yeah.
That radius. You said a 6-foot radius.
At least
Or
a 3-foot radius. So
Okay.
don't get it too close to your furniture or
Right. Okay.
That's really good to
any
know.
other combustible materials in your home.
Sure. All right. So we've got some other safety information we want to share with you when we come back. All right.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Welcome back to Senior Break. So thank you for all that information about cooking fires, kitchen fires, and the space heaters. That was great information. So now I know every year when we do the time change at home, my husband is very diligent about checking our smoke alarms and our what
Detectors.
are the other detector? What is
The
that?
carbon monoxide
Carbon
detector.
Yes,
There you
thank
go.
you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I lost that. So when the time changes in the spring and then in the fall, we're checking our detectors.
Well, very good. You're in the minority because
Okay.
most people do not even, they put them up, they haven't thought about them in 30 years.
Right.
So that's a big problem that we're running into, and that's something we're kind of trying to change. So the state of Michigan has really been pushing on that. Our state fire marshal, this is kind of his passion. Every meeting we go to, he is so passionate about smoke alarms, which is a great thing. So we have a lot of programs going on right now. And here in Oxford, if you're an Oxford resident,
Okay.
we will come and install smoke alarms into your home. No cost, and carbon monoxide detectors.
Okay.
They have 10-year batteries in them, so you no longer have to worry about the 9-volt batteries.
Okay.
That's actually going to be, those are going to be taken off the shelves and out of the state of Michigan very soon.
Okay.
Because people aren't changing their batteries. And the 9-volt batteries, honestly, they're expensive. It's about $10 just
Yes.
to buy a 9-volt battery.
Right,
So
right.
we've kind of found that the 10-year batteries are just, they're easier. People, especially if you're seniors, they don't
Yeah.
have to get up there every 6 months to a year or whatever,
Yeah.
change out batteries.
Sure.
So, so yeah, that's something we're really pushing in our community. If you need smoke alarms, we're willing to come and install them for you. We only have the battery operated ones, so a lot of the newer homes have hardwired ones. We do not offer those, and we
Okay.
don't suggest swapping those out for battery ones. But we'd be happy to come and install hardwired ones if you go out and purchase them.
So then how do you know then with these new 10-year batteries, how do you indicate when those batteries are going to expire? Is there something on the detector that we can mark, or like my husband takes a Sharpie and he writes the date on it, and so we have it visible to us, but a senior that how they may lose track of time, how do they know when that battery is due to expire?
So we do the same thing. So when
Okay.
we come in and install these smoke alarms, they do have dates on them. So we'll date them for the date that you installed them, and then as soon as we as soon as you click them onto their plate, that's when that battery life starts.
Okay.
So
That's good.
yeah. So those are.
Good.
So there's no little blinking light or something that goes on if when the battery goes?
Well, and the 10-year is really kind of a suggestion, right? That's how long it should last. If the detector malfunctions or goes before its time, it will usually alert you and let you know, start
Okay.
chirping
Oh,
or
okay,
have a
good.
beep to it.
Okay.
So most smoke alarms, so just not even these 10-year batteries. So any smoke alarms in our homes, even the 9 volts, the hardwired, whatever, they're all kind of good for 10 years because it's not just the batteries in them that go bad, it's the actual like sensors in them and things.
Yeah.
They get clogged up. A lot of people think that they need smoke alarms in their kitchens, things like that, and they'll get clogged with, you ever feel the top of your cupboards?
Yes.
That's what's inside your smoke alarm.
Okay.
So we suggest smoke alarms. The standard is usually inside every bedroom, outside of the bedrooms, or outside any sleeping areas, and then on every level of the home.
Okay.
And especially if the basement, there's bedrooms in the basement, we want them inside and outside.
Gotcha. So if somebody wants to get in contact with you to get a smoke detector from the fire department, how do they get in contact with you?
So they can just call the fire station
Okay.
and request for smoke alarms to
To
tell
be
us-
installed.
Yeah, tell us
Okay.
they need them. They can also go on our website
Okay.
and they just fill out a form and we'll call and set up an appointment with them.
All right. So can be more than just one detector that comes into the house? Will you put them outside all of the bedrooms?
Yep,
there's
we'll find whatever the
okay.
need is for your home.
Okay.
So if you have a basement, you have
Sure.
6 bedrooms, whatever
Okay.
it is, we'll make
We'll do
sure
it.
that you,
All right. That's
that your home
great.
is
Yeah, that's
protected.
really good.
That's
And
great to
same
know.
with carbon monoxide detectors. So it doesn't
Okay.
have to be just smoke alarms. So if you're good with smoke alarms, you need carbon monoxides, we'll do that too.
All
So-
right. Well, very good. So if you're interested in either the carbon monoxide detector or the smoke detector, please get in contact with the Oxford Fire Department. That's great. All right. So,
That's a big worry off once you get all that in.
yes.
Once you get that all installed in your house.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
all right. So I know when my children were younger and we moved into this new house, we did talk about an escape plan. What can seniors do to prepare to make an escape plan for themselves in their homes?
That's a great question because we get that a lot. We do a lot of talks to our senior centers, apartment complexes, things like that. It's a little different for them. Sometimes it's easier for them to just shelter in place.
Okay.
We don't want them going into the hallways where it's really smoky. Everyone trying to, so a lot of these are elderly that don't move very fast, can't use the stairs.
Right.
We don't necessarily want them using elevators.
Right.
So
Yeah.
sometimes it could be safer to shelter in place if you are in an assisted living or senior center, because
Okay.
our main focus is going to be going straight to the fire and trying to mitigate that situation and not have a bunch of people in the hallways tripping and falling.
Sure.
Or go out to a balcony, things like that. It's going to be safer. But if you live at home in your own home, the safest thing you're going to do is going to be just get out the closest door or way possible.
Okay.
We do suggest that it will save lives to sleep with your bedroom door closed. We ask that every time we go and do a smoke alarm install. We do like a home safety survey, and we talk about this. Do you guys have an escape plan? Do you know 2 ways out of every room? Especially when there's little kids, we'll
Sure.
kind of ask them. But especially with the elderly. And I can tell you, I'm going to throw a percentage out there. I would say probably 95% are like, no, I don't sleep with my bedroom door closed.
No,
And it's
I
usually
don't
because
either. I
their
don't
little, well, yeah, their little cat or something sleeps. They like to come
Oh.
in and out. Things like that. The pets are usually the reason why. But we go into homes that have their whole house has been destroyed by fire. The walls are completely black, and then you open that one door that was closed, and it looks like it's never been touched.
Okay.
So it will keep out all the hot gas and smoke and buy them some time for the fire department to get there and help get them out.
Okay.
If that door is open, they really won't stand a chance. So we are really, really, really pushing sleep with your bedroom doors closed.
Okay.
If they can't make it out, open a window, try to get our attention. We always say put a flashlight by the window so that way we can see like right up in that window is somebody.
Okay.
But yeah, try to just go out the closest door, easiest door to get out. So
Okay.
if your windows don't open in your homes, make sure you get those fixed so that way, in an emergency,
Especially
if
in
you
a
had to go
bedroom,
out,
yeah.
especially in a bedroom,
Yeah.
if you had to go out that way, that you're not struggling with a window that doesn't work. So.
All right. Well, we have to take another break. This is a lot of great information. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And is this with the doctor or is this with the nurse practitioner? Fantastic. Dad, lunch. Got some soup for you.
You are loved.
Oh, you. Look at those freckles.
This was very much.
You are valued. You are strong. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
When a crisis hits, close to home and across the globe, nonprofits are on the front lines, ready to serve.
Keep coming.
The demand for charitable services has skyrocketed, and nonprofits are rising to meet the needs. Healing, nurturing, rescuing, honoring, protecting, caring, inspiring. The work of philanthropic organizations of all sizes, across all missions, has never been more important. And it's donors and volunteers like you who make all this possible. Thank you. Together, we change the world. the Nonprofit Alliance.
Welcome back to Senior Break. Before break, we were talking about escape plans, and Sarah, you mentioned something about sheltering in place or going out into a balcony if you're in assisted living or independent living and you have that. To reassure people that are living in those facilities, why is that the best thing to do? And are they truly protected?
Yeah, let's clear that up a little. So, in an assisted living facility, these are usually larger facilities. They all have sprinkler systems. The sprinkler system should contain that fire to the area that it is. So that apartment that's on fire should contain it to that area.
Okay.
That's going to be our main focus as a fire department, is to go into where the hazard is and try and mitigate it as quick as possible. So we just don't want the elderly that may be already compromised trying to go into the hallways and
Right.
Putting themselves in a more hazardous situation, because those hallways can fill with smoke.
Sure.
And we'd rather them just shelter in place. If they have a balcony, go out to their balcony where they can get fresh air. And if we had to do a rescue, we could rescue them off of there. But that's going to be their safest place, because we don't recommend using the elevators and things like
Right.
that in a time of an emergency. So. Yeah, apartment complexes, assisted livings, we do just recommend sheltering in place.
Okay.
And we'll get you out if the hazard's in your area.
Sure.
If you're in your own homes, our recommendation is going to be get out of your house as quickly as you possibly can.
Right.
So.
And you had mentioned before to make sure you have 2 exit points.
Absolutely.
Know where those two
ways out of
right.
every room, because you never know where the fire's going to be. So.
All right. So this is a good segue into I'm in my home and there's a medical emergency. What kind of tools are available to individuals that are in their homes to provide access into their home if they can't get to the door to let you in?
Okay, so we come across that problem a lot. So on our commercial buildings, this building that we're in right now, our McDonald's, whatever it might be in our community that's a commercial building, we have a lockbox on the outside of it that we have the keys locked in our truck, but we have a key to get into those buildings locked inside that box. So we've kind of put it more on a residential level now, so not just seniors, but especially seniors. We can get into your homes quickly by accessing your lockbox. So I brought one with me to show.
Yes.
It's called a Roper lockbox. And again, we keep the keys locked into our trucks. So this just would hang on their door. We would come out, open this box for you with our key. You'd put your key to your home in it. We'd lock it back up. Nobody else can get into it. And it just hangs on your door. So then if we have an emergency, we'll get the key unlocked out of our truck and have easy access into your home.
Right.
They do have a cost to them, so we purchased them for $40. We're not trying to make any money on them. We're just selling them for what we purchased them for.
Okay.
But we just want to have them available for anybody in our community that might
I think
need
that's great.
access, that are not able to get to the door to let us in.
All right.
That's a good idea.
Yes. And so again, they contact the fire department
Yes.
to say that they're interested in the Roper box.
Yep.
And then they can make those arrangements.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then we also, in all of our dispatch information, so if we were dispatched to your home, per se, that will be in our dispatch information that there's a Roper box on the door. So
Okay.
we won't be looking around the home trying to find if they have it or not. We should have that information already.
Right, great, very good. All right, so now you enter the house. And you have somebody, it's a medical emergency, and you have somebody there. Is there something that we can have in our homes that will alert the medical personnel of like what my ailments are, or
Yes.
emergency
So my other-
contacts or anything like that?
My other little goodie I brought with me is what we call our Vial of Life. So we give these out to anybody that wants them. We go to our senior centers. assisted living facilities usually will have on hand what any medical emergency or any medical conditions might be,
right.
contact information, what hospital you'd like to go to. But if you live in your individual home, we don't always have that luxury to have all your information at hand. So these free of charge, just come to the fire station and grab one. There's just a little pill bottle. Inside of it is a sheet that will have all of your allergies, your list of medications that you're on, contact information of anybody that you'd want us to contact, and then you can see on there just pretty much all of the different medical data, different medical
really nice.
conditions that you could have.
So, yeah.
So, and then a hospital of preference if you wanted. So these
a lot
go,
of
you fill out that sheet with all of your medical information. You would stick it in this little pill bottle, and this pill bottle will go into your freezer. So we know offhand to look into the freezer for medical information.
Okay.
And
Good
the way
idea.
that's easy for us to see, you'd put this magnet on your refrigerator, and we could say, oh, there's a vial of life in that refrigerator.
Very,
So,
very good.
Yeah, so they're very important for us to know that information.
Now, are those also, I mean, pretty widespread throughout the state? I mean, with other fire departments, or
Yes.
some
This is not just-
participate?
This is not just a Oxford
Oxford?
fire thing.
So
It
they
is-
can go to any fire department and get those.
I believe so. I believe they should all carry
Get
them
them.
or stock them, but
Right.
you could also order them. I know you can probably Amazon a vial of life, but it's something that's well known. Like when you go to school, they teach it in your books about
That's
vial of
really a
life.
good
So-
idea.
Yeah.
Really
Great,
good.
great tool to
Yes.
have.
Both of those.
Yeah, especially like if I can't get there to help my loved one to provide that information in time, then that's a good thing to have.
Absolutely,
Available.
And
Okay.
you have one per person, one vial per person with the information on it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So we prefer that
Okay.
instead of trying to sift through who's got what ailment. So if it's a husband, wife, things
Sure.
like that, we don't.
Yeah.
We want to know one for each of them, so we know who's got
Okay.
Right.
the issue.
Yeah, so then you know how to take care of them.
Correct.
And what their wishes are at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
That's really
there's
good.
no arguing, standing there going, I want to go over to this hospital. No, you should, we're taking, you got to go here, that type of thing. So, all right, great. All right, so,
Really a lot of information.
because we're getting close to having to end our segment here. So what other things would be good to know to be safe in your home or in your apartment? Like rugs or handlebars or those types of things? Are those also important for safety in the home?
Absolutely. So we talk about that when we go to our senior centers. We do picnics and things with them, and we'll do a quick safety talk, and we'll just kind of talk about some safety hazards in the home. Throw rugs are a big one, especially with people with canes or walkers, things like that. They're pretty, they're nice, but
Yes.
sometimes they can trip us up. So
Right.
we just recommend having either a very, very flat throw rug or just no throw rugs at all, because they can be a trip hazard for
Sure.
you. Any extension cords, things like that, we always try to say keep them out of walkways.
What about showers? Baths, slipping in that, handrails maybe?
Absolutely, handrails are a great thing to have in there. So I mean, if you're not able to install them, contact some contractors or things like that.
To do that,
They're very easy to put in. So, or seats and things like that. It's nice to have a seat in the shower.
Sure.
A lot of our assisted livings and our senior apartment places have pull cords like in their bathrooms, or if they were to fall.
That's
They
good.
can sometimes be tanglesome. They just hang there. They don't like them, so they'll tie them up so that they're not hanging, or they'll tie them, or they'll cut them short. I remember my grandpa cut his off when I was young, because we would play with it or whatnot.
Right.
But when
Yeah.
it came time for an emergency, he's not going to have it because
Right.
there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
So they're very important to have. So then they're very important to have hanging, because you're going to need it when you fall on the
Yeah.
ground
Right.
and need help up. So.
All right,
really
well,
good.
Sarah, this is a lot of great information. I thank you again for your passion and serving our community. And what a lot of great information that you shared with us today. So if you're interested in the smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, the Veil of Life, or a Roper box, please contact the Oxford Fire Department. Or if you're not in Oxford and you're watching this segment, contact your local fire department. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All
Sarah.
right. Okay, well, I would like...